Hello, hello, hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Tori Lynn. Let's blossom today. Somehow 4th of July is less than a week away. I don't even understand where this year is going. It is flying by. It's absolutely crazy to me. In honor of 4th of July, I want to bring you guys this really pretty patriotic red, white, and blue look. This eye look is so fun. I love this look. This whole look is absolutely fun. Created this really pretty kind of red, nude, pink lip. This lip did not go at all where I thought it was gonna go, but I absolutely love how it turned out. And this eye look, I'm obsessed with it. It is so beautiful, but so freaking simple. It is absolutely simple. So if you guys want to see what I used and how I created this really absolutely beautiful patriotic look, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's just jump right on into the video. I like to start these videos with my skin completely prepped and ready so we can jump right into the makeup. So that's exactly what I did today. Everything is all done. My moisturizer, everything, primers and all that is like done and ready. So I just used for primer, I used my Urban Decay All Nighter primer. This one is absolutely amazing for keeping you mattifying, for really filling in those pores, and for helping your foundation stay on your face. So let's move past that and let's jump into foundation. I have been doing a lot of tanning recently. If you guys have been watching any of my makeup videos, then you know. Talked about it a lot. And I only have two foundations that are like my shade right now. I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills and the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth. And currently my favorite is the Anastasia Beverly Hills because this one stays on the skin so well. This is their luminous foundation. So both of these have a more dewy, glowy look. Now you can get this one, the Maybelline one, in a matte look if you prefer a more matte look. During the summer, I like a slightly more natural or dewy or glowy look. This one to me, however, has a more natural finish to it. But then you can set it with a matte powder and it pretty much has a matte look. So even though it's called a luminous foundation, it doesn't have a super glowy look to it to start with. It's just a very nice, natural, full coverage looking foundation. It's so good and it lasts on your skin so well. I have preached this over and over that if you need a foundation that's gonna last through mask wearing, through just an oily nose, if you're someone that touches your face a lot or has little kids that's gonna be touching your face or whatever, say it's your wedding and you're gonna be kissing, like it doesn't matter what it is, this foundation is, I would say, a very transfer proof foundation, like as transfer proof as you can really get with a foundation, because no foundation is 100% transfer proof, but this one really does a great job at staying on the skin. So I like this one for long days, for big events, for days when you're going to be out in the sun for hours on end. It's going to be hot, you're going to be sweating, you know, you could be walking around a decent amount, like might be wearing a mask, you know, stuff like that. I like to wear this foundation a lot. It just has become like my #1 favorite foundation this year. So although I do wear it a decent amount, I wear it quite a bit, I can't help it, okay? I love this foundation. If you guys have not tried this foundation, go try it out. My absolute favorite foundation used to be the It Cosmetics CC Cream, and I still absolutely love that foundation. The only difference between this foundation and that foundation is that this one stays on. The It Cosmetics CC Cream, it doesn't stay on through mask wearing and that kind of stuff. So it does stay on as far as like it doesn't cake up, it doesn't get really gross looking around your greasy areas and that kind of stuff. It's just, it's not transfer proof is all it is. This foundation is just really good wearing. Now I feel like I need a little disclaimer when I'm using this foundation in a video. In the beginning, like when I'm first putting it on, like right now it looks super orangey. Promise it doesn't look like that once it's been sitting on the skin for a few and I got like my concealer and my powders and stuff. And I don't really feel like it looks like that in person either. Just something about the way the camera picks up this foundation in the beginning looks very orangey. But I promise it doesn't look like that in person, and it won't look like that by the end of the video. So just a little disclaimer there. And it just happens to be with this shade. I have a lighter shade. By the way, I use the shade 332C as my tan shade. I use 150W as my non-tan shade, as my pale, my winter shade. For concealer, I just had to go and pick up a brand new one. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. And I had been using the shade 121 Light Honey, I believe, but they didn't have any of that shade, so I had to go one shade darker, which is probably not a big deal because I've been doing so much tanning anyways. So this is the shade 122 Sand. So I'm hoping this shade looks okay. The next shade up was like 130 and it was way too dark. And then the other shade down was 120, and I figured if 121 was a good shade and I'm still continuing to tan, then I might as well just go one shade up. Finally, I got that done. Oh, that color has a lot of yellow in it. Okay. I'm not used to them having that much yellow in it, but it'll do. I just took that concealer and put that in my pretty typical areas, under the under eye, down the bridge of the nose. I like to do my smile lines, my chin, and then I also like to brighten the creases around the edge of my nose. I have pretty deep grooves right in there, and I just feel like they get really dark, and I don't know, I just like to brighten them up a little bit. So I'm gonna take my beauty sponge and just blend all that out. Then I'm going to take my Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 21, and I'm going to pop just a little bit of that concealer right up under the eye and kind of do a little swoosh on the outer corner of the eye. I feel like this is a TikTok hack kind of thing, but I also do a little bit on the tip of the nose and then right between the eyes on the bridge of the nose. And then I take my sponge and I just pop that right up under the eye, and then towards the nose. That'll kind of start the nose contour and then brighten up that under eye. So we'll keep everything very lifted and snatched looking. Then I'm going to take my Beauty Bakery Butter Not Bitter Setting Flower in the shade Oat, which is their translucent shade. And I'm going to go ahead and bake my under eye. Now while that's baking, I'm going to go ahead and throw on my brows. I'm just going to use my e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil, and I'm going to do that off camera, and then we'll come back and we will jump right into the eyes. Alright, let's move past the brows now. I'm going to be using a couple different palettes today. I'm going to start with the Conspiracy palette, just because we're going to be dipping into this palette later for the extremely bright white shimmery shade. We're just going to go ahead and use the nice kind of creamy color shade here called My Pills. It does have a slight pinky hue to it, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going to be using that as a base to kind of set our lids down to make sure our shadow doesn't crease. If you don't like the fact that this has a slight pink hue to it, you can either mix it with Tannicon next to it, or you can use a shade from a completely different palette. A nice creamy vanilla shade would work just as well. Then I'm going to be jumping into the Dew Color Reality palette. This is the Red Gemstone palette. And I'm going to be jumping into this bright red, like ruby red shade. I'm going to start by working it on the lid. and then working it up into the crease. The reason I do that is because these shadows are so pigmented. If I start by working it right into the crease right away, we're gonna run out of blending space. This will make it easier to blend. It'll make our blending edges a lot softer. And wherever you put this shadow down first is where you're going to end up with the most amount of pigment. And we want the most amount of pigment to be down on the lid and then up to the crease. And then beyond the crease is where we want that blend to just be really soft. And if you want, you can go back in and pack more onto the lid. Say it got a little blended out a little too much on the lid. It got too soft. You can always go and pack more on. I think it'll be super fun to take this really fun chunky glitter shade and pop that down on the lid. Now I'm not gonna like fully coat the lid or anything, just enough to like add just a touch of glitter is all. And this I think is gonna work best if you either use glitter glue or I'm just going to wet my brush down, which will help it stick better and give you less fallout. I don't have a glitter glue at the moment. I need to go look for one, but I don't have one. So I haven't had one in a really long time. I used to have one. I'm just gonna wet my brush down, and that way it'll kind of adhere to the skin and the brush a little bit better. Because I'm not even gonna use my finger. Typically with these I would use my finger, but I don't even want that much. I just want to add just a hint of shimmer. It's a little bit of glitter. It'll kind of darken up the outer corner and add just a little pop of something. So I'm just spritzing my brush down with a little bit of setting spray and then dipping it into that eyeshadow, into that glitter, and it works just fine. Honestly, I feel like these glitter shades were the funnest thing about these palettes. Now I'm going to jump into the Space palette, which is the Bluestone, and we're going to jump into this super deep, like almost navy blue color, and I'm going to pop this on the lower lash line. Now I'm going to jump back into the Conspiracy palette because I really want to use that super bright white shimmery shade called Ranch. I think that this shade will look super good on the inner corner because it's just so like bright and vibrant. Oh my gosh, I think this turned out really cool. It's gonna look so good with some lashes. I do think I want to throw on some liner on the top though. So I'm gonna take my Stila Stay All Day waterproof liquid eyeliner, and I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a line on the top. I don't know if I'm gonna do a wing. I haven't decided. Well, I wasn't gonna do a wing, then the next thing I know, my wings are getting bigger and bigger, but I like how the wing looks. I feel like it tied it all together. So let's go ahead and finish up the skin, and then we'll throw on lashes and stuff afterwards. But first we need to sweep away that baking, which is going to get rid of any of that glitter fallout and any excess shadow fallout. Any of that stuff. And then I've been using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder to set my skin, and I've been using the shade 220 Nude Beige. Then I'm going to go ahead and bronze up using my Morphe Glamour bronzer in the shade Originator. I haven't actually used this bronzer in a while, but I thought it's time I break it back out again. I was obsessed with this bronzer at the beginning of the year, so it's time I break it out again. Haven't really tried it actually since I've been getting a good tan going, so we'll have to see how it compares on my tan skin. I guess it's pretty good. It's got a good balance of cool to warm. That bronzer looks good. What I've learned about my skin tones, it just looks good with most colors, which I'm fortunate to have. I'm also going to quickly bronze up my nose as well. For highlight, I'm actually going to use Merry Luminizer from the Balm. It's a pretty light colored highlight. I've been using a pretty gold highlight today, but I think I want to do a pretty white, cool toned highlight to kind of go with the white of that inner corner highlight. So I'm going to pretty intensely highlight that outer cheekbone to match those two. What do you think? I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to round it around the apples of the cheeks just a bit. And then of course I like to do the forehead and down on the nose as well. For blush, I think I want to grab a really kind of red blush. So I'm going to use my Morphe 9N palette. Honestly, don't know if this palette is available anymore, but it's the only kind of red blush that I have. So I'm going to grab this very kind of pretty deep red, and I'm gonna work it right up on the cheekbones and then down towards the apples, but I'm not gonna go ham on the apples, not today. Now, if you like a real rosy cheek and you want to go on the apples, that's okay. I typically do, but today I think I'm gonna skip that, but I am gonna do a little bit right on the bridge of the nose. Yeah, like that. It gives your nose a little bit of a sun-kissed look, and it adds to the contoured effect just a little bit. Now we need to set this skin down. Our skin is looking good. It's pretty much done. So let's go ahead and spritz it down, get all that melted into the skin. I think I'm going to use a Beauty Bakery product. We're going to use the Beauty Bakery Setting Glaze. It's our sweet glaze, actually. Baking spray. Alright, and while that is really melting into my skin, I'm going to go ahead and throw some lashes on off camera, and I'll be right back so we can throw on a lip and finish off this look. I still have some lash glue drying, so ignore that, but I was just trying to decide like what lip color I wanted to do. I've got a couple different colors. I've got like a true bright red. I've got a really pretty like deep red, and then I've got this pretty kind of mauve-y, almost kind of burnt mauve color. I'm kind of leaning towards that one because it's a little more nude than the rest of them. Although that true bright red would be really pretty, and it was typically, you know, what I think of when I think of 4th of July, and I would, you know, go with the true bright red lip. I feel like I want to go with something a little more on the neutral side of things, and I actually haven't used this one before. This is a brand new color for me, and I think that's really why I want to try it. So this is the NYX Shine Loud Liquid Lip in the shade Life Goals. I just picked this up, and I already have one of these in the shade, what is it, Born to Hustle? Yeah, Born to Hustle. And I just picked this one up in the shade of Life Goals, and so that's really what I want to try. It's kind of this really pretty, kind of burnt mauve color. It has a little bit of an orangey, poppy color to it. I think it would look really pretty with this eye look. It has a little bit of red in it. It's got a little bit of pinks. It's got a little bit of nude. I don't know. I just think it would be really pretty. So let's try it. It might even be pretty with a little bit of an ombre look to it. I do think that's pretty. I think what would have like made this the perfect shade would have been to have taken a dark red lip liner. Like I have one from Jante Blue in the shade Brown Sugar. It's this really pretty dark red lip liner. Done that first, then done this, and then taken a lighter color to ombre the center and just done this really pretty like dark red to light color on the inside. Oh, I think that would look gorgeous. Maybe we can still do that. So I got Jante Blue. I just pulled that out. Let's see if we can pull it together. I've never put lip liner over top of a liquid lipstick before. I've always done it the other way around. It didn't go perfect because I had to put that liner over top, but it's still pretty. I really like this lip color. I think I want to go one step farther though with the ombre and take a really pale color. This is the NYX Lip Lingerie in the shade, oh gosh, what shade is this? It's not Baby Doll, which is what I usually use. I think this is in the shade Rogue, but I'm not 100% sure. Man, these Shine Loud get so sticky once it dries. I like this whole lip combo. Not at all what I had in mind when I was going to do a lip for this eye look though. I don't know if it 100% goes together, but it's pretty. I mean, it does go together. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the gloss on over top. I really like how this look turned out. Like I said, this is not at all the lip I had in mind when I sat down to film this video, but it's actually really pretty. I like that ombre, darker outer corner color. I don't know that I've ever done like a 3 color transition ombre on a lip before, but it's so pretty. And I do think it complements the eye enough. It's not too pink, it's not too weird. It has just enough of the right tones that I think it all ties together really, really well. So let me know what you think about this look. I think it turned out really pretty. If you like this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.